A couple times have been announced. The Stanford and Northwestern duel will both start at 1 p.m. Central. After we're done with Tom, we'll go over to the wrestling room. If you're a photographer and you're using a tripod, we've got some wood planks for you to put down so you don't ruin the mat. No shoes in there. And turn it over for Coach for an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Awesome. Great to be here. This is a little bit unusual just because we compete in 2 days, and we're fired up about that. What I mean by unusual is this press day is very close to competition. Our schedule's a little bit different, having someone that early in a dual meet, a big dual meet, going to Oregon State. We're excited. So I imagine you have questions, and I will answer them. How's that? Mike Finn, first question. Imagine that.
Okay. Tom, obviously transfers are common now in college athletics, and obviously you have a lot of transfers. Could you give us a little background on the group that you brought in, and what was the key to really get them? Is it like a recruiting, what you may have done when they were freshmen?
There's two ways to get transfers. One is they go into the portal, you have a need for them, and you recruit them. We did that with Parco. There's other ways when wrestlers want to leave the program that they're currently in. They have good academic standing. They meet progress toward a degree. We cannot recruit them. And then they would choose to apply, accept admission if they're admitted, and they would go that route. Really, anybody with good academic standing that meets all of the progress toward a degree can go anywhere at any time. The rules have gotten so liberal that way. So to answer your question, there's a lot of ways to transfer. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and I'll tell you that if certain personnel fit our roster needs, we're open to it. I don't have an opinion on whether or not that's good or not, good for athletics or not. We love it. The more that want to be here, the merrier. We love it.
What is the key for successful transfer, especially for those who came from a program like Arizona State, where I think Zeke Jones might be a lot different from the Tom Brands? So how does that work out?
Zeke Jones is a worthy opponent. I got enough problems running my own program to try to evaluate what's going on in his program.
But for them to adapt to you is what I'm saying, as opposed to...
That's not my concern. My concern is the more the merrier. If you want to be a Hawkeye, be a Hawkeye. If you don't, then you don't have to be. Nobody's twisting your arm to stay here, and nobody's twisting your arm to come here. Now, recruiting it's competitive. So maybe we'll work a little harder on some of our better, bigger needs. We just had a recruiting weekend last weekend. We had a whole bunch of juniors in and a whole bunch of high-powered juniors in, and we got to do a good job. And we got to do a good job in the portal, and we got to do a good job wrestling uncommitted, unsigned seniors in high school. So you're recruiting juniors in high school, you're recruiting seniors in high school still, maybe. You're going to look at the portal. You don't have a crystal ball. You don't know what the portal is going to look like, but you're going to look at the portal. That's going to be interesting, the week or day or whatever after the conference qualifier or the NCAA tournament or whatever that timeline is. That's always interesting. And we're going to have a presence. We're going to do what the rules say we can do, and we love it.
Keer announced this summer he's focusing on wrestling full time, so he's got it right away this year. What can we expect from the dedicated Keer? What do you think we'll see?
First of all, you've seen his progress through the trials process in early June, making that U20 team, and then into the U20 Worlds as a heavyweight in the beginning of September. So July, August, September. That's 3 months. 3 months solely dedicated to wrestling, and we love that progress. The biggest thing with Ben Keer is he is a conscientious guy. I think that's a good trait anytime, especially when you're young, is that you want to make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, meaning it's good enough just isn't going to cut it. And he looks for feedback. He asks for feedback. He's mature in that regard, meaning thick-skinned, to the point where if he's not asking and he's getting feedback, he'll take it. He's a curious fellow, very curious. We love him.
What have Parco Teer and Buchanan added to your room?
They want to be here. There's energy. They all three have a different approach, but the similarities is just like, I mean, we haven't even talked about Drake Ayala. Drake Ayala is a runner-up returning in this program, moving up a weight, and he's the bedrock. And so we're excited about that. And you asked about Ben Keer, but, you know, we have another runner-up coming in as a transfer with Teemer. But the thing that those guys have that super competitive wrestlers or athletes have is that they want to win. And the good thing about the transfer portal is if things get stale where you're at, you can leave, and nobody can keep you out. So whether or not things were stale where they were or for whatever reason, we're the benefactor of their decision to want to be an Iowa Hawkeye.
Looking at the lineup, there's only Mike Callion, there's one guy staying at the same weight, and also from that postseason lineup, a lot of other guys shifting, so there's a lot of new. So how would you kind of describe, I guess, the vibe in the room and the culture with so much new around the program right now, too?
Vibe and culture in the room is something that you'll have to come and see for yourself. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, tell you that we have great culture in our room. You figure that out for yourself. You know what? We love that when a guy makes a decision, whether he's staying at the same weight or going up a weight, he makes that decision with conviction. We love that you can maybe move up into some uncharted territory and still be a dominant wrestler. Drake Ayala has that opportunity. I mean, I'm not a guy that makes predictions. You all know that in here. I say that all the time. But if I was making predictions, I don't think the weight class is going to bother him moving up. Any time that happens, it's attitude more than anything. And, you know, I have some mentors of my own, Royce Alger, who moved up, and he did it for the good of the team. He didn't move up because he was bigger. He went from 167 to 177 his senior year, and he made a statement and was a two-time national champ at two different weights. And so you do things for different reasons, and when you do things with conviction, it doesn't really matter that we don't have anybody returning at the same weight class that they performed at. That could be a really good thing also.
You mentioned 170, or changing weight classes, 174, 184, just spot that a lot of fans have their eyes on. Where do those two weight classes stand as we sit today, and do you expect that to change entering the season?
We love Patrick Kennedy, who just got back from Albania. We love Nelson Brands. We love Gabe Arnold. We love, who else aren't they talking about? Who aren't they talking about? We love Angelo Ferrari. He's an 84-pounder. We love all four of those guys, and there's nothing wrong with sorting things out amongst friends. How's that? We love it. We love the competition.
What have you liked about Angelo Ferrari so far since he's been here?
I mean, things that you could guess that all super talented and driven young athletes, the characteristics that they have and possess. And he's probably got them to a little bit better degree.
What is Ryder been like?
On you in the second year with the program?
He had a lot of time off, and he's determined. He skewed curves on his healing process. Our medical team is top-notch. He's a beneficiary of that, and we're excited to see him on the mat. We also have Colin Schriever there. We're pretty deep at 41. Juice Rhodes is there. Jesse Ibarra is there. He's up a weight. He could probably go 33, 41. You know, and sometimes You never know. You don't have a crystal ball, so you never know. You could be surprised with, what happens. But Ryder Block, love his approach every day. Love his approach through his strengthening and rehabbing, or whatever you want to call it. And we're ready to go. We're going to Oregon State. We leave tomorrow. And it will be his first competition in a Hawkeye singlet, even though, as freshmen can wrestle in Hawkeye singlets. But, he had that issue. So he's excited. His family's excited. We're excited. The fans are excited. Hey, take advantage of your opportunity now, stud. Don't look back. Don't make this a quarterback controversy.
You've got 2 4-time Montana State champions on your roster in Leif and Keer. What can Leif do to kind of help Keer through the step up from a smaller populous state?
It's a long ways from home, and Leif Schroeder is an incredible leader in our room. ISAC, things that, where he's paying attention to the landscape and what student athletes are going for. He's a voice. He's a voice for our team. He's been a voice. He's been a great leader. He's doing his student teaching right now. He's going to be a great educator and mentor. And he's doing that with Keer. Keer Hernandez has a sister in our program as well. She just graduated last year. She's a manager for us, has been, and she's still around. Working for the Hawkeye Wrestling Club a little bit and doing a lot for us still. We love her. We love the family. We love Keer that he's here. And we just love everything. You ask about culture. Holy mackerel. I've sat up here and talked about how much I love it. And so it must be pretty good. Must be pretty good.
Tom, what have you seen from your 125 pounders this offseason?
We have seen that 2 are probably emerging, Cruz and Peterson. That's not a surprise. Peterson had a procedure, and he's come out well with that. He's 10 months post. We love his fire. We love his drive. We love his approach. I don't know, if he's quite ready right now, but 10 minutes from now, he could be ready. We love them both. It will be competitive. And I think we listed both of them on the Oregon State thing, but more than likely it'll be Cruz out of the gate right away. And then we'll see. We'll go from there with Stanford. And then we'll go from there on the next one. And then from there on the next one.
Nelson Brandt has gone through a lot here, obviously. And he knows that as both a coach and his uncle. What do you see in him that's made him able to continue after all he's been through?
I see a guy that weathered a storm. I see a guy that could have complained and took something and didn't really complain and actually used his awesome humor and his personality and actually made it work in its favor. I don't know how you do that, but he did it. And good for him. That was a bad deal, and we're not going to get back into that. But I love his resolve and his perseverance. And it's not something where you just snap your fingers, you wake up one day and say, hey, this isn't going to bother me, I'm going to do it. It bothered him. I mean, it's something that you have to deal with when things come down the path that way. And he, among others on our roster, handled it very, very well. And so, hey, we're glad that he's, eligible on our team. His leadership, his presence in the locker room, his popularity with his teammates. He's a pretty popular guy, and was raised quite well by his mother, my sister-in-law. How's that?
What are you looking for most, just generally out of Saturday?
We're looking to do what motivated wrestlers love to do, and that's go out and take care of business at every weight class. Doesn't mean it's going to be that easy. It's an opportunity. It's the first opportunity. Even Steven, you don't get up, gallop faster because it's your first one. We got to be even, Steven, steady, but why not kick everybody's butt the whole way through the season And that's what we're looking for. And we're going to put 10 guys on the mat, and we're going to evaluate when we're done, and then we're going to come back. And a week from Saturday, we got Stanford, and then we got Bellarmine, and then we got Iowa State coming to town, and then we go to St. Louis for a 2-dual thing, and then we got a little bit of a break. Then we go to the Soldier Salute, and then our Big Ten dual meet schedule starts, and then we end with Oklahoma State home. We got Ohio State at home. I mentioned Iowa State's at home. That's a decent home schedule. And then the Big Tens are at Northwestern, and the national championships are in Philadelphia. And it'll be like that.
Talk about a winning mindset starting off the season. Ben Keeter's obviously a guy that is used to winning pretty much everything he does, especially on the mat. What have you learned from him in the past 9 to 10 months and a couple of losses that he took against really good opponents that it may not have been a familiar experience for a guy like him?
I learned what I described earlier, that he's conscientious. He seeks feedback. If he gets feedback that isn't like glowing report, he'll eat it and take it and absorb it, and he will use it, and it will make him better. He has thick skin that way. If you want to use some humor, he's scared to death of his mother. She's a pretty tough woman. We love the fact that he is full-time wrestling, and we'll see where this goes after this. This isn't something where, we're sitting here hoping that we hang on to this, through, next year or whatever. Hey, the decision was made. All parties were part of the decision-making process, and after this season, we'll evaluate and we'll go from there. But I personally absolutely love that he is full-time wrestling since May, June last spring. Love it.
One more. Tom, today the university announced you guys sold out season tickets for the 4th year in a row. Can you kind of talk about what it means to have the fans sell out 4 years straight?
Iowa Hawkeye wrestling is strong. We have to do a better job performing. I think if you put exciting teams on the mat, they will be heralded and showered with affection by the fan base. And since we sold out the arena again with season ticket sales, you know what? We tell our guys kind of funny way, when you're wrestling and it's your turn to step on the mat, don't have that the time that everybody gets out of their seat and goes and gets an ice cream cone. Have that the one where they nail themselves to the seat because they don't want to miss 1 second of your performance. And if we can get 10 weight classes with those types of competitors, we're going to be where we need to be. So thanks, and we'll see you in the wrestling room.
Thanks, everybody.
I don't even know what to do.